That's better. Okay. Hello, the YouTubers. This is CD Mangaka, and today we're going to be doing, not really a replay analysis, but more like how to do a replay analysis. I know a couple of YouTube figures have already gone over this concept a couple of times. I want to do my own personal spin on it in case people who view me, who keep up with me, want to hear my own take on it and my own advice on it. So this first part of the clip is going to be an example. Let me mute the game volume so we don't get distracted by all the game sounds. This is going to be a take on how to look at your own positive play to start off, and then we're going to take a look at your own negative play. So there will be some games where you'll want to never take a look at it again because you played awful, it was a mess, but you needed to look at those games because it's important to understand what you did wrong in those games. The other side of that spectrum is that you're going to want to look at games where you did really well, kind of like, hey, look what I did in this game, this is a really good job I did, but you're going to also want to look in those games what you could have done better. So, for the context of this game, I am an AD carry and a support main. I am looking to expand my role, the roles I can play, into the mid lane so then I can put myself in a position where I have control over the game by being able to roam, make plays in bot, go make a play in top, and be able to duel other mid laners and have a little more control over my fate. Because I personally feel like it's harder to carry in bottom lane if someone else is feeding a solo lane. And I feel like mid place is a good place for me to go because you can dictate the pace of the game, you can have some weight to your calls in there as well, and you can move to make that play. So that's my interest there. And I wanted to learn Ahri because my champions that I can play in mid lane are Syndra, Orianna. That's honestly it. So I need to work on my mid lane champion pool, and so what I am personally doing is going into normals to play Ahri because I want to learn her. I've always had an interest in the champion and her design. Her kit's pretty good right now, so and it's a little different from the Orianna and from the Syndra I play, so I want to go into that. So, in looking at a good replay, this is a good game for me because I actually do well. So, Kassadin is hitting me with his Qs, and as I'm laning, my goal is to get some of the CS, which, spoiler, I do a bad job of CSing this game. And so I haven't traded that. So, whenever Kassadin goes for a Q on me, I always hit him with my auto attacks, taking advantage of my range. And because I'm using my auto attacks, I got like 2 off of him, as you saw earlier. He wasn't able to use his magic shield to really do much of anything against me. I'm actually going to do this. Just go to manual camera, keep it sitting in the middle lane so you have a static view of it. And let's go ahead and get rid of all the hub stuff. So I'm trying to farm, and I push the lane in early so I can get the level 2. And this forces him to play a little more defensively. So I'm positioning myself, trying to get some farm, doing my best to land 2 autos on him. I'm always using my auto attacks. There he is hitting another Q onto me. I have an advantage in this lane because he has to donate a spell and some of his mana to hurt me, but I'm able just to hurt him with auto attacks. And I'm actually doing kind of okay on CS. I'm 8 for 12 right now. I moved down to ward my flank, and I actually should have warded over here because Jax is going to be at his red because I know he started blue. So while I'm at it, let me go ahead, just change the minimap. So we trade, and right now what I'm trying to do as Ahri is that I know that you can do the Q harass, where if you throw your Q out of the enemy at max range, you'll proc the magic damage and the true damage at the same time. So I'm trying to get that down my repertoire, kind of get a feel for Ahri's max range Q. And every time that he comes in to trade with me, I'm always trading back. I'm always retaliating. Here I see an edge to get a charm, and I go for an all-in because I know I can. And you look right there, that principle of always using your auto attacks is actually playing out really well. So far, in a melee matchup with Ahri, I'm doing a great job of always using my auto attacks. I'm waiting for him not to have his magic shield up before I throw spells at him to trade, and I was able to take advantage of a slight mispositioning on his part. Let's go ahead and look back on this. So, me pushing the lane gets me a level advantage as well, which also just sets me farther ahead because Kassadin's laning is really weak. So, man, that hitbox and the charm look wonky. So I hit that and I immediately respond. I proc my W. I get those hits in. I plant my ignite. So everything's going down. One thing I'm not doing really well is I'm not moving with my Q so that I can adjust the direction of it and aim it. I'm a little better with it now, and actually I had a recent game where I finally learned that mastery, but it didn't save for some reason, so there was that. So I get a solo kill on him. That's pretty expected though. Like, not to overhype it too much. This is just a normal game, so I'm not really like probably playing against someone who's my level within the league, and so doesn't understand the basic fundamentals at the same way I do. I'm Cassidy is also fairly weak right now. I mean, like, look at his win rate. Pretty obvious. Ari is really strong right now, so it's kind of a bit of an unfair matchup. And I'm trying to get better about applying my passive procs, as you can see here. I should use my mouse a little bit more. And I back off. So, things that I do really well in this laning phase, and this is just a microcosm example. I don't want to dwell too much on it. I'm using my auto attacks to trade really well when I'm in a melee matchup, always using them in. Landing on my spells really well. I see a moment to all in, and I take it whenever it's there. Like I threw one charm that whole laning phase, and I hit him with it. So, at least I think I only threw one charm. I might have hit another one. But I'm waiting for him to make mistakes, and I'm also trying to get a feel for the champion's mechanics. And that's what you have to look for as you're playing the game, and asking me, am I playing this champion right? Do I know like the tricks to them? Do I know how to do certain things with them? And am I trying to apply that? What fundamentals am I using? That's the way to look at things that you do really well. So I'm going to cut the video right here, and we're going to look at an example of how to review a replay where it goes bad for you. Okay, so we're getting into the second example that I have for you guys, which is looking at a replay where you do bad and then seeing what you can do to improve. So this game I am Syndra mid. I asked for the role, and to spoil the game for you, because I can do that because we're actually not going to look at it, the whole thing, I get carried this game. I play really poorly against this Yasuo. I feed the shit out of him, and my team happens to carry me through it, and I'm able to make a couple of relevant plays. So, anyways, manual camera, this annoying scoreboard off, there we go. Okay, so I started this game by pushing in on Yasuo. Again, I want the early level 2 advantage over him, so that way he can't just use his mobility come up to me immediately. So he started with his Q first, which I've seen. I played against 2 Yasuos, both have done this. I try and go for a trade. I actually don't get the auto attack off on him, and that's like one key emphasis in this game, is that this Yasuo's positioning is actually really good throughout this entire laning phase. Am I at normal speed? No, okay, I am. So there I'm able to proc his shield, which is my whole goal in this fight, is to proc his shield so that I can follow up harass. But every time I proc his shield, I don't look to follow with harass. I'm not playing as aggressive as I could be. Like right there, instead of position for the minion, I could have gone up and hit him with a Q, could have hit him with a couple more auto attacks. So this lets him get to a clean level 2. I should have had him down to half health in this case, using my harass. Instead, we're both at full health, we're both playing really passive. I'm pushing in the lane, but I'm not harassing him, which makes me vulnerable. So he gets his E, he's starting to move around, I pop his Q, and now with this minion wave coming in, he goes to trade on me. This is a really good Yasuo player. I want to add that in, actually. He's actually really good at what he's doing. I missed my E combo because he's moving all the time. He's constantly in motion. So I go back, he gets several autos on me, chases me, and I die. So what did I do wrong with that whole scenario, aside from just getting wrecked like a bitch? I didn't auto-attack him often enough to really like use my range to my advantage. Like you saw in the R game against Cassidon, always auto-attacking, always doing those things. I played way too passive here, even though I was pushing up in the lane like that. And because I played so passively, I had all of this lane that I had to run back from that he could chase me through, because he's Yasuo, and he timed his aggression with the minion wave. Whenever my minion wave's coming up, he'd go in, so then he would have this line of minions to E through to get onto me. And we saw that several times. He was a really good Yasuo player, a lot of credit to this guy. I played really poorly to own responsibility in my own play. I want to go back. Just look at this. So, I mean, again, level 2, I should have gotten so much more damage on him. I've practiced passive once. I've gotten no damage onto him. I mean, I should just be full-on aggressive towards him, because I'm using Ignite in this case. So, like, I missed that spell. I'm trying to time my aggression when, like, he's not going to have the spells. I retreat back into my minion wave, which I actually shouldn't do, because that just gives him a way to escape. I should have stayed my ground up here, probably, like within his melee range, but then that would have not given him this ability to go free harass in. Missed my E there, big mistake. I get one auto. There's another auto. But at this point, like, it's like so not over. With my stun down, he's able to go in really hard, and I don't back up like I should. So now I'm forced to rely on my Q cooldowns. By the time that we retreat back, his E comes up. I played this really horribly. But let's fast forward the game here and look at additional mistakes of mine. So I come back, he's roaming, I go do this. I actually go down bot lane, and I pick up this cheesy kill on Jinx. Miss my combo a little bit. But now, he's got 2 levels on me, I have a kill, and I'm not able to back with the gold advantage. Here, I'm actually do good job of reading where he's going to throw his wind or his Q to knock me up because he used it to zone me from going back to my turret. So I've moved for the safety of my turret. I was going to get knocked up. So I actually juke it pretty okay there. Okay, back to manual camera. So I'm pushing the minion wave. What I really should be doing instead of pushing the minion wave like this is I should be trying to freeze it because now he has an advantage on me. And once again, he's timing his aggression as I have this line of minion wave. So every time I retreat back, he's just going to have a line of minions to chase me with. I should be trading more with him. I'm being a little too passive. We both dodge each other's Qs here. He comes in, once again gets into range. I'm doing my best to hit him with all my spells, retaliate. And, oh god, like all the canceled frames, all the missing damage I have going on. I flash way too late. He misses me with that, and I barely get out. He should have had me there. Had he had Ignite, he should have had me there. And I think I stay when I should have backed. It's like I have no mana. My jungler was looking to gank. Now I'm like pretty low on mana, so this gives him a really good position just to keep aggressing onto me. Now he gets level 6. Now it's like, okay, I gotta be watching for his ultimate. And then fortunately he doesn't go in on me right there because I'm under tower. My jungler's hanging about. He's pushing the minion wave in again, and since he's AD, he can actually do a lot of damage to my tower. But I get hit by his Q. I actually want to see how, like, this is so easy to read. Like, I saw this coming, I'm like, I knew, just like, I psyched myself out, and I'm going to get hit, which is another aspect of reviewing yourself, is like, know your emotional play. And he actually, what he did is that he timed his Q at the same time I threw down my Q spell. I'm going to just back up one more time to show that. So slow it down. So right here, like, these minion is getting low. So what I want to do as a person who's playing the game, imagine that, is I want to get this minion. So I'm going to step up to it. And as I do to try to get the CS, his wind wall is going to hit me and actually crits on me. That's just no bueno. And with that, he's able to come in, ult, his Ignite. No, I drop my Ignite onto him. And he's just able to cleanly get out. Like, he's styling on me at this point. But in part of him being just exceptionally good, I want to point that out. He was a really good Yasuo. Around, like, for my league and my level of play, damn good. But for how I was playing, I played really poorly. I didn't harass him like I should have. I didn't control the lane like I should have, so I kept on giving him a lane to work with instead of being passive, keeping it close to my tower so then I would expose him to jungler ganks. And overall, my auto attack trading was really bad. My harass was pretty bad. So those are things that I needed to work on and I need to focus on when I was playing the game. I was not in a good frame of mind at this point. That's another thing that you have to keep in mind as you review your games, is understand your mental state. Like I kind of talked about there, I was on tilt. Like, I was like, oh, okay, man, I gotta play really passive, and I wasn't thinking, like, okay, what does he want to do? I wasn't taking notice of, hey, he's probably going to throw that Q at me when I move up to take that minion. I didn't consider those things because I was too busy just like, I need farm, I need farm. So, that's like an example of how to look at your replays, both when you're doing really well, to notice the mistakes that you made, how to improve on those, but also note what you did well. And then also games where you did really bad, and say, hey, that was bad, but let's improve from that. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. The Seed and Mangaka signing out.